Namaskaram. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Apara Karuna Sindhum Jnanadam Shantarupinam Shri Chandrasekhara Gurum Pranamami Mudanvaham. Adiyen Aarthi Venkatesh. Mahaperiva Kripainala Inniki Namba Gomata Mahatvam Sampradaya Sambandham Nattu Pasuna Yaru Godhanam Go Samrakshanapati Parkaporam. I'm not an expert on this topic, but I have very good experience on Gomata Samrakshanam. I'm going to be sharing my perspectives and the limited knowledge I have on this topic. With Mahaperiva's grace, I hope this appeals to all of you. And yet another point is, I have initially released this audio in a mixture of Tamil, Sanskritam and English. Now this time, I thought I'll make it bilingual, where I'll predominantly use English. And of course, Sanskrit and Tamil would be coming, but yeah, it'll be mostly in English. Gomata Vishwasya Mataraha, Universal Mother, Ashta Aishwarya Pradhaini. She is the abode and a bestower of Ashta Aishwarya. Gomata is known to remove all our ashaucham, ashuddhi, physical and spiritual impurities. Shastrathla sollirukra sapta matala Gomataavum oruthi. மற்ற மாத்தாலாம் பார்த்தேன்னா நம்மளுடைய ஜனக மாதா, ராஜபத்னி, குருபத்னி, சிசுபாலிகா, பிராமணஸ்திரீ, பூமாதேவி. இன்ஃபேக்ட் கோமாதா ஃபியூ ஸ்டெப்ஸ் சுப்பீரியர் டு ஆர் பயாலாஜிக்கல் மதர். ஏன்னாக்க தன்னுடைய கண்ணுக்குட்டிக்கு மட்டும் அல்லாத அனைவருக்கும் ஒரு பாரபட்சமின்றி பால், வெண்ணெய், நெய், தயிர், மோர்னு கொடுக்குறா. இது தவிர அப்பிரத்யக்ஷ பலனான பஞ்சகவ்யம் என்னும் ஒரு விசேஷமான ஒரு வஸ்துவியம் கொடுக்குறா. அந்த பஞ்சகவ்யம் நம்ம அசௌச்சம், பாப கர்மாவெல்லாம் அகற்றி நமக்கு சித்த சுத்தி கொடுத்து இந்த சம்சாரத்தையே கடக்கிறதுக்காக உதவுறது. There are at least 1300 references on Gomata in our Vedas. All our Upanishads, Itihasas, Puranas are rich with anecdotes on the significance of Go Aradhana, Go Seva, and condemns Go Hatya vehemently. எல்லா வேதத்துலேயும் கோ சுக்தம்னு ஒரு செக்ஷன் இருக்கு. Apart from that, Rigveda, which is the oldest Veda, has got a separate chapter on Gavopanishad. Lalita Sahasranamam refers to Ambal as Gomata. Gurumurtim Gunanidhi Gomata Guha Janma Bhuhun. So Sakshat Adi Parashaktiye namba Gomatava Aradhikaram. Literatures again attribute superiority, divinity to Gomata. In fact, நம்ம தமிழ் வேதம் திருக்குறள்ல 560th குறள் 560வது குறள்ல ஆப்பயன் குன்றும் அறுதொழிலோர் நூல் மறப்பர் காவலன் காவானனன். That means when the king neglects the country or the governance, okay, when he fails to rule the country properly, what would be the indicators? First, the produce of the cows will fail. The next would be men of 6 duties. 6 duties refers to teaching, studying, offering yajna, officiating at yajna, giving gifts and accepting gifts. Will forget their Vedas. So, which means cow has been taken as the measurement for good governance. It is an economic indicator here. They are not referring to GDP or an industrial produce, but cow's produce. That's the kind of significance cows had in our tradition. Gomata's antiquity, rich Vedic and cultural significance is quite apparent. ஆரம்பத்திலிருந்து கடைசி வரைக்கும் கோமாதா நம்ம லோகக்ஷேமத்துக்காக வேண்டி நம்மளுடைய லௌகீகம் மற்றும் ஆன்மீக மேன்மைக்காக உழைக்கிறா. It's only for our own well-being, our physical as well as spiritual upliftment. Gomata has been tirelessly working. இவ்வளோ ஒரு வசதியான ஒரு வாயில்லா ஜீவனுக்கு நம்ம சம்பிரதாயத்தில் என்ன சம்பந்தம்னு பார்க்கலாம். கோமாதா இஸ் கம்ப்ளீட்லி இன்டர்ட்வைன்ட் வித் ஆர் கல்ச்சர். அவளுக்குன்னு பிரத்யேகமாக சில பண்டிகைகள்லாம் இருக்குது. ஃபஸ்ட்டு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா பவிஷ்ய புராணத்தில் கோவத்ச துவாதசி, வாசுபாரஸ், வாக்பாரஸ். This comes around Kartika Sukla Paksha Dwadasi, just before Deepavali. It is observed as Nandini Vratam, where the cow and the calf are decorated, prayed and fed with rice, jaggery. People observe fasting on this day to express their gratitude towards Gomata for being a life-nurturing and a sustaining creation. Cow and calf are fed with wheat products. The people will fast and to fulfill their wishes. And this was first started by Swayambhu Manu's lineage, Uttanapadar and Suniti, who observed this vratam and got a very, very divine child called Dhruva. So we have all heard of Dhruva Charitram, right? When we have studied the scriptures, we have learned this. Similarly, King Dilipan and Rani Sudakshana did a lot of seva with unconditional love to Nandini. Nandini is the calf of Kamadhenu, okay? And they were bestowed with a very, very noble son called Raghu. From there only we started getting the Raghuvamsam, where Sri Ramachandra Murthy belongs to, right? So This has been the references on Bhavishya Purana, which I thought I will refer to. Apart from that, we celebrate Gopashtami. In Bhagavata Purana, Krishna Leela is elaborately discussed. Indra, out of Ahankaram, flooded the entire Vrajbhumi. And that was the first day for Krishna as a cowherd. Krishna was, worried about the status of the cows and the cowherds who are getting, impacted by the floods. So immediately he lifted the Govardhanagiri and gave shelter to all the cows and calf. The entire place was cut down from the village. It was a 7-day lockdown. Then Indra realizes his ego, surrenders to Bhagavan. Surabhi, one of the cows tended by Sri Krishna Paramatma, showers milk on Krishna and everybody addresses him as Govinda. Gam Vindati iti Govindaha. So on the 8th day after Govardhanagiri, Gopashtami is celebrated. This falls on Ashwini month, Krishna Paksha Ashtami. Then the third festival which I would like to talk about is the Mattu Pongal. This is after the day of Surya Pongal, which comes in the Uttarayana Punya Kalam, Thai Masam, which is around January. This is when the Jallikattu is also celebrated. Jallikattu is very, very famous in the recent past. In the Pongal, we have been celebrating from the Sangha Kalam, which is 200 BC. Imagine the kind of ancient culture we've been preserving this far, which is great, right? So Sangha Kalathlerada, we've been celebrating it. Cow and calf are decorated with new clothes. Their horns are painted very beautifully. Lot of jingles are put around their legs, neck, everything, and they are taken around in procession. Everybody feeds them jaggery, rice, bananas, give them the dakshinai or even vetalapaka. So this is how we've been celebrating specific festivals on Gomata. Apart from that, widely celebrated one is the Go Puja. Lakshmirya Lokapalana Denu Rupena Samstita Gritam Vahati Yajnartam Mama Papam Vyapohatu. So Lakshmi came in the form of Denu, actually. So to remove all our sins through Gritam and through which we do the yajna and then our sins are washed away. Gomatavuடைய பிருஷ்டபாகத்தில் மஞ்சள் குங்குமம் இட்டு அர்ச்சனை பண்ணி பஞ்சோபச்சார பூஜை பண்ணி நைவேத்தியம்லாம் பண்ணி இந்த கோ பூஜையை நடத்துகிறா. Prishthabhagam is the backside of Gomata where we worship for Lakshmi. Lakshmi eternally lives in the backside of Gomata. So there is an anecdote in Mahabharata, Anushasanika Parvam, where Bhishma Pitamaha explains the significance of cow worship to Dharmaraja. Lakshmi wanted to reside in the cow along with the other devatas. We know that 33 devatas are residing in the cow's body. So that's why cow is referred to as the Nadamadum Kovil, mobile temple. Okay, and in fact in Skanda Purana, they have detailed the position of each of these devatas, rishis, in the cow's body. So it will be very interesting to read that. So Lakshmi also wanted to join them, and Lakshmi was requesting cow to give her a place. Cow declined, citing that she is very transient and not a stable person like the cow. So later, after a lot of pleading, cow agreed because she's obviously a Karuna Rupini. So she obviously agreed, and Lakshmi assured that she will permanently reside in the Gomayam. So cow Gomata solra enoda Prishthabhagathla irungo appdin sonnapro Lakshmi immediately agrees, and she promises that she will permanently reside in the Gomayam. Gomayam is the dung, and bless all her devotees with Ashta Aishwaryam. Now what is Ashta Aishwaryam? Ashta Aishwaryam is Dhanam, wealth, Kanakam, gold, Santanam, progene, Udyogam, job, Vahanam, vehicle, Dhanyam, grains, Dhairyam, courage, and Sevaka, servants. So if one has all these things in abundance, then obviously materially they'll be very, very happy, right? So Lakshmi comes uninvited to these places. One is the Gomayam, then other one is the Simandavagada, the central partition in the lady's head. Angada, that's why we keep the kumkum. Then elephant's head, then Vilvapatra, and the last one is Padmam, which is the lotus. Similarly, Ganga Mata resides in the urine of the cow. The Arkam has Ganga Mata in it. So specific prayers are done to the cow as part of the worship, which is Go Suktam, Ghavopanishad, Go Gayatri, Go Ashtotram. Lakshmi Ashtotram can also be chanted, and cows are fed grass, kirai, greens, fresh greens, bananas, jaggery, till, everything can be offered as Nevedyam. And it will be a good auspicious thing if we can have the cow and the calf together during the Go Puja. And it is believed that Kali Devata resides in the front part of the cow, and that's why the back portion is prayed and revered a lot. Interestingly பார்த்தேன்னா இப்போ நம்ம சாஸ்திரத்துலேயும் there is a mandate that we must clean our entrance morning and evening. Sandhya kalam and pratha kalam, we must clean our house entrance. And this cleaning has to be done with cow dung. Of course, the scientific thing is that it will prevent all the bacteria from coming in. But another significance is also that cow dung, Lakshmi resides in the cow dung. The moment you clean your house with the cow dung, the front entrance, obviously Lakshmi will enter your house without you even inviting her. So that's the kind of Lakshmi Kataksham one would get when they start doing all these, Shastra mandated practices. In olden days, we all used to use cow dung to clean the place where we eat our food. எச்சில் துடைக்கிறதுங்கிறதே ஒரு வழக்கமாக இருந்தது. Now it is slowly getting lost. அப்புறம் பார்த்தேன்னா தெர் இஸ் நம்ம கிரகப்பிரவேசம், நம்ம சம்பிரதாயத்தில் கிரகப்பிரவேசம் வெரி வெரி காமன். எவ்ரிபடி கீப்ஸ் பையிங் ஹவுசஸ். ஹவுஸ் வார்மிங் செரமனி, த ஈவென்ட் ஸ்டார்ட்ஸ் வித் த கவ் அண்ட் த காஃப் என்டரிங் த ஹவுஸ் ஆஃப்டர் த Gopooja. This to purify the new house and ward off any evils, remove all the Vastu dosham and bestow prosperity to the owners. So Grahapravesam, very very critical thing is the cow and the calf entering the house. அதுக்கப்புறம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா டெம்பிள்ஸில் we start the day in the temple with Vishwarupa Darshanam where Gopooja is done. So cow is so much intertwined in all the things which we do. And it has got lot of significance, lot of goodness in whatever we do. In fact, Mahapariva once visited a college in Trichy. And colleges are meant to be with all growing up children and boys, girls. Obviously, cleanliness would not be there to that extent. Shuddham, ashaucham irukum. So, Periva enna pannana, first he let the cow and the calf precede him. He followed them so that all the ashauchams are cleansed and Periva is able to walk through the entire college. So it was very, I was just reflecting on it when we talk about the cow's ability to remove all the ashauchams. It's not only our physical and spiritual ashaucham, even the, environment can be cleansed. When the cow is present in avalodiya swasam pada, the environment will also be cleaned up completely. இப்போ நம்ம பார்த்தது எல்லாமே நம்ம சம்பிரதாயத்தில் it refers to the native Indian cows. So all the things which we are talking about in our sampradayam, in our Vedas, in our Itihasas, all our scriptures, refers to the native Indian cows, the Desi cows. Let's see who are these Desi cows and why are they so significant. நம்ம வேதம் சாஸ்திரம் எல்லாத்துலேயும் போற்றி வணங்குற பசுமாடு கோமாதா வந்து நம்ம நாட்டு பசு தான், native Indian cattle or Desi cow. There are around 27 breeds of cows and 7 breeds of buffalo which are being recognized by the government of India. Indian native cows belong to the Bos indicis variety, the species, and it's dated to the Vedic age. Very ancient, and 27 breeds are typically your Gir, Red Sindhi, Ongol, Tarparkar, Alambadi, Kasargoda, Kangeyam, Vechur, Punganur, Bargur, Hallikar, Umlacheri, Pulikulam, Killari, Dioni, Haryana, Bachaur, Dangi, Karigar, Malvi, Kosi, Nagori, Siri, Nimari, Kenvaria, Gidda, Amrit Mahal. The Natu Pasu, the Indian Desi cow, has got a very, very special structure. The body, I have shown it in the presentation where I have put a Desi cow and a Jersey mammal, right? Now, the Desi cow has got a beautiful hump on the back. The ears, tails will be long. If they have horns, the horns will also be long. And they will have a beautiful curved body structure filled with Samudrika Lakshanam. Their eyes will be, pouring out with compassion. Karunyam nariya irukum kangallar. In the Natu Pasuku, there is a Surya Ketu Nadi which goes on the back of the Natu Pasu. This Surya Ketu Nadi, actually when it interacts with the sun, when it reacts with the sun, it creates Tanga Pasmam. And the Tanga Pasmam nalada, it mixes up with the milk, and the milk from the Desi Indian cows, Indian Desi cows, will be light yellow in color. Okay, and these Indian cows are very, very hardworking. They have a longer lifespan and they have high fertility and extremely suitable for tropical climate. Indian Desi cows, milk is fiber rich. They are alkaline in nature with 113 amino acids. It's very protein rich, indeed a complete food. It's very easily digestible, very suitable for infants to very old people. It has a lot of cooling properties because they have been created to be, bred in tropical climate. So they emit a lot of sweat. Their skin is structured in that way that they have a lot of cooling property, and the milk also in turn has got cooling properties. It's extremely satiating. The native Indian cow's dung and urine are alkaline in nature, so they do not stink. There would be a distinct smell, but there won't be any stink. There won't be any bad smell. The dung is dry and very conducive to make dung cakes or your dung balls. And these cows, are very, very different biologically and chemically to any other, genetically modified Jersey or any other cow, any other breed of cattle. Now, milk contains, what does milk contain? Predominantly protein, right? And the protein is whey protein and casein protein. All of us know that. And this is the typical composition of the bovine milk, where 80% is casein protein. Now, the milk produced by the native Indian cows are referred to as A2 milk because they contain A2 beta casein. Okay, and rest of the cattle which produce milk, all the mammals in US, Europe, Australia are all A1 milk. Basically, A1 beta casein is present. Now, in fact, originally all the cows were producing A2 beta casein. Okay, that's the protein component. 8,000 years ago, we actually crossbred Holstein Friesian. Holstein Friesian belongs to Bos taurus. Indian cows belongs to Bos indicus. Right? So the Holstein cows were crossbred with a mammal called Yora. It's a wild mammal, milk producing mammal. And this resulted in Jersey. Okay, so Jersey is a combination of Yora and Holstein. And that's how the white revolution happened in the cold countries to increase the milk production. So obviously, the A1 beta casein helps in multiplying milk production, okay, the mutated variety. So, and the digestion of A1 beta casein will result in beta casein merlone, which is a carcinogenic product. And this causes inflammation in the gut and it results in early worn out of beta cells. Now, why do we need the beta cells? Don't confuse with beta casein because beta casein is a protein. The beta casein merlone is a byproduct of digesting an A1 beta casein protein, which is carcinogenic. The beta BCM is carcinogenic. And the beta cells, which we are talking about, which gets worn out very easily when we take the A1 milk, is actually used to produce insulin. Okay. So because of this, because of long consumption of A1 milk, our insulin producing abilities reduce drastically and it results in diabetics. And it also, the A1 milk consumption affects thyroid and pituitary glands and is also researched to cause autoimmune issues. Now, I'm not a doctor, so I can't dwell on this on this topic for long. I could only share whatever limited knowledge I have on this from my various learnings, from my various discussions with veterinary doctors and a lot of people who are into research on this topic. All these A1 milk producing variety also releases a lot of greenhouse gases like methane, and their dung and urine emit a very bad smell as they are acidic in nature. These A1 mutated, A1 milk producing mammals are meant for cold countries, so they don't sweat. Their skin is not made to sweat. The sweat glands are very, very limited, which means they suppress all the heat within themselves to manage the cold climate. And because of this, the milk they produce is also very heating in nature. So when you consume that, you automatically, the body gets heated up, right? And almost all the varieties of mammals, milk producing mammals, except the Indian Desi cows and the original African cows, most of them produce a mix of A1 and A2 protein milk these days because of the genetical modifications which we have done over the years. Now, in my slide, I have given you the 4 pictures of A1 and A2 cows just for you to understand what is a A1 cow, what is an A2 cow. A1 cow has got a very flat body. It looks like an animal. It doesn't look like a cow if you notice. So it looks very, very, different. And I've also given the various cow breeds which are widely available in the European, North American region. And I've given the A1, A2 composition just for you to understand that there is one breed by name Guernsey where A2 is almost 90% of their milk produce. So maybe, if we don't get a native Indian cow's milk, probably it's a good idea to look out for this Guernsey, which is probably available there in the region. So we might use that. It's less damaging, I would say. So that's how these cows are being differentiated, and that's the significance of a A2 milk producing cow. Now, the next slide generally is a download from the internet. There is a direct, there is a lot of research available for our reading. The table shows the difference between an A1 and A2 milk. There is a protein chain which I have shown because that's where the difference is. For A2 milk, A2 beta casein protein, the protein chain, the 67th place has got proline, okay? And for A1 beta casein protein, the 67th place is histamine. So when they break down further, the impact is different, and the way it is absorbed in our body is different. The way it impacts the body is also different. And that's why it's very, very critical for us to understand this very well, right? And the graph shows the various breeds with different, how the composition is between A1, A2. There is also an A3 component. There is a beta. There is a, casein component. So multiple things are there. So I'm not going to be talking about that because I'm not an equipped person to discuss that. But yeah, all we need to be focusing on the A2 component and how good it is. So, Desi Indian cow milk is very nutritious, tasty, easily digestible, does not have carcinogenic content, and it's sattvic in nature. Rest of them are mere milk producing mammals like a water buffalo, a goat, sheep, camel, donkey, horse, reindeer, and a yak. So while it may be okay to consume their milk, because even donkey's milk is very sought after for medicinal reasons, or a desert region, we might be taking camel's milk. So it might be possible that, we could be consuming them. But it's important to understand their impact on our health in the long run. And it is known through research that A1 milk from these milk producing mammals like Jersey does impact our health in the long run. So it's important that we become aware of that and act on it. So when it comes to religious and spiritual purposes, of course, my suggestion would be different because our Shastras refers to Go Kshiram as an important, component in all our rituals and prayers. So since these crossbreeds like Jersey are biologically and chemically different to our native Indian cows, they don't qualify to be called as Gomata. Right? And hence we must refrain from using their products for all our prayers, all our spiritual pursuits, as these will be considered as a Dravya Dosham. We must make an effort to seek out and use native Indian cows products for all our prayers, yajnas, havans, spiritual purposes, Go Puja and Godhanam. So I repeat, நம்மளுக்கு வந்து நாட்டு பசுவை தான் வந்து நம்ம சாஸ்திரத்துலலாம் சொல்லியிருக்கா. அந்த கோஷீரம் சொல்கிறது வந்து நாட்டு பசுவை தான். நாட்டு பசு வந்து ரொம்ப ரொம்ப டிஃப்ரெண்ட் பயாலாஜிக்கலி அண்ட் கெமிக்கலி டு ஆல் தீஸ் ஜெர்சி அந்த A1 மில்க் ப்ரொடியூசிங் மேமல்ஸ்லாம் இருக்கு இல்லையா, அதோடலாம் ரொம்ப டிஃப்ரெண்ட். ஸோ அதனால் நம்ம மேபி அந்த பாலை குடிக்கலாமா இருக்கும். பட் ஆனால் என்ன, பிகாஸ் நம்ம மற்ற மேமல்ஸோட பால்லாம் குடிக்கிறோம். இந்த கோட்டு, கேமல், டாங்கி அதோட பால்லாம் கூட எடுத்து நம்ம குடிக்கிறோம் அந்தந்த ரீஜனில். ஸோ ஆனால் நம்ம வந்து பூஜை, நம்மளுடைய ஆத்ம ஞானத்துக்காக வேண்டிய ஹவன் யக்ஞாலாம் பண்ணும்போது அவசியமாக நாட்டு பசுவோடைய ப்ராடக்ட்ஸை தான் யூஸ் பண்ணணும். இல்லைட்டா அது திரவிய தோஷமாக கன்சிடர் ஆகிடும். ஸோ அதனால் நம்ம அதை கேர்ஃபுல்லாக பார்த்து நம்மளுக்கு கிடைக்காதா இருக்கும் இமீடியட்டாக, பட் டெஃபினட்டாக அவைலபிள் இன் த மார்க்கெட். இட்ஸ் ஜஸ்ட் தட் வி நீட் டு டேக் தட் எக்ஸ்ட்ரா எஃபர்ட் டு சீக் அவுட் ஃபார் தீஸ் ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் அண்ட் தென் பை தெம். ஸோ இதுதான் வி நீட் டு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட். நவ் லெட் அஸ் see what are the various products which are available from Desi Indian cows and how they help us to lead a holistic, physically healthy, spiritually uplifting and environmentally nourishing life. We are all aware of milk, curds, ghee, dung and urine. Apart from this, we also get Panchakavya. This is a derived product which has got amazing properties, amazing spiritual as well as health benefits, right? இப்போது நம்ம பூஜை யக்ஞம்னு ரிலீஜியஸ் பர்பஸஸ்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா பஞ்சகவ்யம் இஸ் வெரி வெரி எசென்ஷியல், பிகாஸ் வித்தவுட் பஞ்சகவ்யம் வி won't be able to take on anything which is without Panchakavyam, we won't be able to take on any yagnyam or havan. நம்மளை சுத்தி பண்ணப்புறம் தான் நம்மளால் பண்ண முடியும் இந்த இதெல்லாம். ஸோ அது ஒரு விஷயம் இருக்குது. அது தவிர பார்த்தேன்னா நம்ம வந்து என்ன யக்ஞம் என்ன பூஜை பண்ணாலும் நம்மளுக்கு வந்து பால், தயிர், வெண்ணெய், நெய்லாம் ரொம்ப அவசியமாக வேணும். தினம் தீபம் போடுறதுக்கே நெய் வேணும். நெய் வந்து நம்ம வந்து நல்ல A2 பசுவோட நெய்யாக பார்த்து வாங்கி சுவாமிக்கு சமர்ப்பணம் பண்ணலாம். அது தவிர நம்மளுடைய பூஜைக்கு யஜ்ஞத்துக்கெலாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா விரட்டி இஸ் வெரி எசென்ஷியல். இது வந்து நாட்டு பசுவோடைய விரட்டி நிறையா கிடைக்கிறது இன்டர்நெட்லலாம் கூட. ஸோ இதை நம்ம ஈஸியாக வாங்கி நம்மளுடைய ஹோமத்துக்கு பூஜைக்கெல்லாம் யூஸ் பண்ண முடியும். அப்புறம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அந்த விபூதி இஸ் எட் another ப்ராடக்ட் விச் இஸ் வெரி வெரி கண்டாமினேட்டட். ஸோ இட்ஸ் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் தட் வி டாக் அபவுட் இட் அ பிட். இந்த விபூதி இருக்கு இல்லையா, இது வந்து நம்ம எப்படி பண்ணணும்னா, நார்மல் ட்ரெடிஷ்னல் விபூதி எப்படி பண்ணுறான்னா, விரஜா ஹோமம் பண்ணி அந்த நாட்டு பசுவோடைய சாணத்தை எடுத்து மயம் கவுடங்க எடுத்து they make it into balls and they make a small homam called viraja homam, and then the ashes which come out of the homam are sieved, and then the soft particles are taken as vibhuti and applied. Okay, this has got a lot of significance because pundram வந்து நெத்தியில் எடுக்கிறது, the one which we keep in our forehead is our pundram. Without that we can't do any satkaryam as per our shastras. The pundram could be a tilakam, vibhuti, shri churnam, thiruman, or even any gopi chandanam or anything. So but idu illama we cannot do any satkaryam, and this is very essential because this pundram has the ability to absorb all the positive powers around us and then transmit it to the energy centers in the body and then bring out the balances. And that's why it's very important to apply that before we do any satkaryam, any good karma. We must wear our pundram, and when we wear that pundram it should be pure. And when we wear the Natapasu Vibhuti, which has been made through a Viraja Homam, I think we don't have any doubts about it, right? The benefit it will bring to us and our spiritual prayers. So adu vandu நம்ம we must buy the vibhuti made out of நாட்டு பசு in the scented vibhuti or white colorல இருக்கு, so பளிச்சுன்னு இருக்கு நெத்தியில, அதெல்லாம் please don't indulge in that because that will actually be a hindrance to your prayers and will deter you from getting the purna palan of whatever you're doing. இது தவிர they also have started making logs out of cow dung. In the logs are more combustible, they are economically easier on the pocket, and they are very, very effective, which is what I've understood from the people who have been using it. These logs are available for sale and we can source them from any place. They courier it to any place, and this is like if we use these logs, நம்ம மரத்தையும் ரக்ஷணம் பண்ண மாதிரி இருக்கும். We don't cut trees for the yajna, right? So that also saves and protects the trees. So it's a very interesting proposition. Plus go shringa abhishegamna, we use the goodaya shringam horns use பண்ணி அதில் பசும்பாலை விட்டு சிவனுக்கு we do the abhishekam with Rudra Avarti. It's a very special one with lot of significance. So இந்த மாதிரி ரிலீஜியஸாக Gomata is so much into giving. Then we look at Ayurveda, the medicinal side of it. Ayurveda is a very, very ancient Veda, and it talks a lot about Panchakavya, the Vagbhata Samhita or Charaka, Shushruta Samhita. Everything has got very detailed sections on Panchakavya. There is also, they talk about Kaupati or Panchakavya Chikitsa, and this Panchakavyam is very, very essential in almost all the, not only Panchakavyam, Go Shiram, Gritam, the ghee, Arkam, urine, Gorochanam, which is found in the intestines of the cow, are all very important ingredients in the various prescriptions of Ayurveda. Yatvakt astigatam papam dehe tishtati mamake dehinah prashanat panchakavyasya dahat agnir iva indanam. This is the sloka we chant before we consume Panchakavya, before any havan or yajna. And what does this mean? It means that, see, one of the things which we'll have to understand is our janma is a result of our karma. And as all the diseases, sufferings we undergo are a result of our karma. So Panchakavya destroys all the diseases from skin to bones, which are actually a result of our sins. Just like how the fire destroys fuel. Ayurveda is part of Vedam. So Panchakavya, as I told you, is widely spoken about in Ayurveda. And again, it dates to very old, ancient Vedas. So we need to see the antiquity again. Once again, it comes into, play. And Panchakavya is a supreme, pure elixir, pleasing to the heart. It gives a lot of strength and intelligence to the person who consumes it. It gives, it removes all the blood diseases. It removes heart diseases and works against poison. And there are specialists who know how to administer this Panchakavya as a Ayurveda therapy, because it needs to be mixed with different concoctions, different ingredients to be able to cure various diseases. So I would suggest that we must consult the Ayurveda specialist who can administer all these Panchakavya therapy for us, because they also have a constraint on the supply chain piece, right? They don't get the pure ingredients whenever they want to. So even there is a block. Adanala, they are not able to pursue this in more, it is not very popular, but there are people who are advocating or administering Panchakavya therapy, and it's very, very effective. Even Chaturmasya Vratathukku munnadi, there is a Panchakavya Dwadasi where the people who are going to do Chaturmasya Vratam consume the Panchakavya to cleanse their body so that the Vratam is Purnam. So, andha mari irukku. Then Ayurveda text also refers to Go Arkam as an elixir to all skin related problems like leprosy, eczema, and various skin issues. They cure all the diseases, they detoxify the body. And even now, I know there are people in the villages who consume Go Arkam as the first thing in the morning, right? And that's very, very healthy. It prevents from lot of infections. The skin glows actually when you consume this. And as I told you, it doesn't stink. The native Indian cows Go Arkam doesn't stink. It's got a distinct smell, and it's perfectly okay because it's so nourishing and it's so sacred to the body. It prevents a lot of infections, so it's very, very good. Gomayam is also at another, in terms of environment, patena, cow is very, very nourishing, as I told you. When the variety is put in the oven with the ghee, it generates a lot of oxygen. And there are a lot of research around that. How much it generates and how the Agnihotris benefit out of it and so on and so forth. Gomayam, apart from the cow dung, apart from all these uses, are also a great fertilizer. What kind of fertilizers? They are like, they don't destroy the good organisms. They nurture them. On the other hand, they destroy the pests. So which means it's like green fertilization, right? We say organic fertilizers are being used, and this is a great organic fertilizer. Similarly, Go Arkam, which is the urine, is a disinfectant. It kills all the bacteria, viral, everything, and protects the crop. It's also called the Jivamritam. Jivamritam is the elixir, right? So Go Arkam and Gomayam are very well sought after in the agricultural industry as well. Nowadays, we have started getting floor cleaners from Go Arkam. I tried that personally, and I found that to be a great disinfectant because we can do away with a lot of pests in the house when you use it for cleaning the house, the floors. Right? In the Gomayam it can also be used, cow dung can also be used for gobar gas, which all of us know about. We have heard about gobar gas, but the concept is picked up a lot. And we see even small villages are now trying to leverage on their cow strength to generate gobar gas, which is a clean and a cheap fuel to light their cities and villages. So that's very encouraging. Gomata partner Kalai, which is the bull, native Indian bulls were massively used in agriculture till mechanization came and they were replaced with tractors. But I still wonder whether the tactfulness with which they used to till the land, the bulls used to till the land, do we still have it with the mechanized tractors? I doubt that, because the bull's hoof were structured in such a way that they will only till the land. They won't destroy any friendly organisms. And I don't think we can do that with tractors, right? So there is still a gap there. And bulls were also maintained in the temples to breed the local cows. This has again been replaced with artificial insemination. It would be wonderful if we all could take a sankalpa to restore these bulls in our temples. Because now what is happening is, because bulls do not have major economic use, the moment they are born, the calf, the young bull is straight away given to the slaughterhouse. This is very, very, rumba kuturumana pavam idu. Kolanda, and the kolanda, because it's male and it cannot create a progeny, it won't yield milk, straight away they send it to the slaughterhouse. That's very, very sad. But if we all can take a sankalpam that each of us could take one bull and adopt it, give him a place in the temple, the local temple, get the temple authority to take care of them, and you fund it, right? You fund maintenance of that bull in the temple. I think that will be a very, very big seva in terms of restoration of our culture and protection of these bulls as well. Because otherwise it's very difficult to find bull protection or not, because at the time of birth itself, they are eliminated, which is very, very unfortunate, right? And even after the cow dies, right, Kalagati Anapro, naturala Kalagati Anapro, the skin is used for musical instruments like beri, mridangam and all. The horns are used for Goshringa Abhishekam, I told you. Gorachana from their intestine is used as a kandopacharam. Panchopacharatla, kandam is also one upacharam, right? Smell. So we give it as an upacharam. And of course, it's being used in Ayurveda extensively. Then the carcass is also a very rich manure for coconut trees. And the coconut tree and the carcass, once you put it under the soil, and you plant a coconut tree, you don't need to worry about it for next 20 years. That's what the farmers tell. So it's very interesting. And, it still increases our admiration for Gomata. Even after she leaves 20 years, she gives some impact to the environment, positive impact, which is amazing, right? Cow supports human race in numerous ways. It is imperative that we must strive hard to protect them till their natural end. And many, many more people are understanding the importance of Gomata, I would say. They're slowly starting to nurture them, breed them, and create a lot of derived products. These are typically secondary farmers or farmers themselves or people in the villages who are trying to do that. The products are very eco-friendly. They are beneficial to us. They don't harm us in any way. I think it's our duty to encourage these small and micro enterprises. We must look out for such outlets, such people who are selling it, verify the authenticity, and procure their products. I think that's a great way to show our support and appreciation to these native cows, the Go Rakshaks who are taking that effort to protect them, and it's one way of contributing to Go Samrakshanam. And at this stage, it's important to know how can we do Godhanam, because that's yet another topic which we would like to cover. Now, when we say Godhanam, Godhanam is the Shreshtamana Dhanam. We need to do it with lot of Shraddha and Bhakti. It is just not that you have the cash and you're doing Godhanam. No, please don't do that. It has to be done with lot of Shraddha and Bhakti. நல்ல சாமுத்ரிகா லக்ஷணமாக இருக்கிற மாடு கண்ணுக்குட்டியை எடுத்துன்னு வந்து we can give it for Godhanam. Preferably second delivery முடிஞ்சிருக்கணும். Because first delivery ஆனப்பறம் we relate to that cow as Denu. Once it is done, second delivery is done, that's when they are addressed as Go. So when we are doing Godhanam, maybe we should take care of this to ensure that there is a second delivery. They are about to deliver the second calf. That's when we need to give them for Dhanam. And the cow and the calf are decorated with gold, stuffed in their hooves, horns and neck, just like a bride, okay? And with appropriate vessels to feed them, to remove the dung, to collect their urine, to give them a bath. All these things need to be taken care of. Some amount of money can be given to them to ensure that they can feed them through the year without any problems, at least till the next delivery. So this is like the நம்ம கன்யாதானம் கொடுக்கும்போது சீர் கொடுப்பா இல்லையா, அந்த மாதிரி கோதானம் கொடுக்கும்போது சீர் கொடுக்கணும். And it has to be given to the Satpatram. Obviously, when we wed our daughters to a good person, similarly, when we give away the Godhanam, we must ensure there are Satpatrams who are going to take care of our cow and the calf in the best way possible, right? And இந்த கோதானம் வந்து ரொம்ப ரொம்ப சிறந்தது. Godhanam will result in Papa Vimochanam, remove all our sins, transgressions. Pitrus will get moksha, will attain moksha, moksha gati praptyam kadaikum. Vamsa vriddhyaham, it will procreation and lineage will grow. So I think it's a very, very important dhanam which all of us must aim to do it at least once in our lifetime. Oru dharavayavadu we must do Godhanam in the proper way. And this is very, very important. And Garuda Puranam is one of our Puranas. In the chapter 47, they elaborately discuss about Jiva Yatra, which is the final journey of our soul after it leaves the body. At one stage, we are supposed to cross the Asipatra forest, and there is a river called Vaidharini Nadi. And this Vaidharini Nadi is filled with pus, phlegm, blood, urine, whatever dirt you say, it will be available there. It's so difficult to cross. At that time, the cow which you have given as Dhanam will come there to help you cross the river. All we need to do is to hold the cow's tail and it will just take us swiftly across the river without any much pain. So, idinale nammude sampradayatla on the 11th day after the death, most of us give Godhanam. And this Godhanam will help us to, help the person who has died to, cross the river very easily. Okay. Appa pannabodu, it's very important that the Murti Mulama, because we are under different, misery or sorrow at that time, we should not flinch or we should not compromise to give a Godhanam just by doing some kind of alternate option or give a small silver idol and say the Godhanam. Please make an effort to do a proper search of proper Gomata and Kannukutti and find a Satpatram to give this Godhanam as how the Shastras have mandated. That's the sincerity with which you do your karma will help the person who has passed away to attain moksha and to get the Satkati. So I think this is something which we can all do, bare minimum. And cow has the ability to see Mrityu Devata, Yamadutas, and so it alerts the caretaker also. So Gomata avlavu oru shreshtamana oru creation, and the Godhanam is a very, very powerful dhanam. We must all give at least once in our lifetime, and when we give it, we don't need to do it multiple times. At least once we do it, but do it as mandated in our Shastras. You will definitely get to benefit out of it. Finally, we move on to our topic on Go Samrakshanam. Everybody has got a part to play here. Either nurturing the cows, worshipping them, helping them to procreate, it's all part of the Go Rakshanam, right? Native Indian cows can be classified as yielding, milk yielding, non-milching. Non-milching could be Dhenu, which is, a Dhenu is somebody who stopped yielding milk at a very young age, or a Riddha Pasu. So native Indian cows are systematically being destroyed. You know why? Because they are not economically very viable. And obviously it started from the long time before our independence. So yielding cows at least stand some chance because they are a bit economically rewarding. while non-milching cows and Vriddha Pasu are a great concern. So cows could stop yielding milk at a very young age, or even after they give a birth to a calf, they don't need to produce milk. It's not necessary. So maintaining such cows become a bit challenging. And so sometimes the owners give away it for slaughtering, very reluctantly, but they give it away. And on the other hand, when you say the global demand for beef is growing rapidly, US is the largest consumer, followed by Australia, Argentina. 25 million cattle are killed year after year. Gohatya, Matra Hatya ka samanam. Gohatya is equal to killing your own mother. And that's then the papathukku prayashitame kadayadu. There is no, you cannot get any atonement for that sin of killing a cow. ஐ திங்க் இது ரொம்ப நம்ம பார்த்துக்கணும். ஏன்னா நம்ம இருக்கிற பூமியிலையும் அந்த மாதிரி பாப்பத்தை பண்ணுறதுக்கு அலோவ் பண்ணக்கூடாது. I think we must create awareness about the greatness of cows in our community, to our own family, prevent slaughtering of cows by contributing financially and physically to this cause, encourage the caretakers, the goshalas, differentiate native cows against all other crossbreeds, and explain the impact of non-vegetarianism to the environment and bring about a cultural change. So it's a lot which we can do. Whatever little you do will ultimately go towards Go Samrakshanam. So where do we start? First, we need to, at least to me, I feel we need to integrate cows in our day-to-day lifestyle. Earlier, ella ratli we had Gomata, right? Ella ratli Gomata arpa, avava atla they will be doing the puja regularly, feeding them and taking care of them. There was a lot of prosperity in those days. Now, we are all into different nuclear living, nuclear families, flat living or abroad living. All these things are not possible. At least make it a point to visit Goshalas whenever time permits. And whenever there is an occasion in the house, try to go and celebrate it in the Goshala in the morning, like how you visit a temple. Go grasam, feed the cow with grass. Fresh grass கொடுத்தேன்னா நம்மளுடைய unknown sins, நம்ம unintentional பண்ண sins எல்லாம் will get washed away. Mahapariva has always insisted, collect all the vegetable peels, fruit peels in the house. You don't need to even incur the cost of buying the grass. You can collect all these things and go and feed the Gomata. அதுவே ரொம்ப விசேஷம். அது மாதிரி go kanduyanam, caressing the neck of the cow. It will absolve us of seven janma papam. Sapta janma papangalum, it will go away. When you caress the cow in the neck, okay, cow really enjoys that. Godhuli Snanam. The Godhuli is the time when the cows return home after grazing. So when they come home, they create a lot of dust because of the way of walking and lots of cows going together. And the dust is equal to, and the dust in Mela Patona, it is equal to taking Ganga Snanam. So, ablo powerful. Shastra has talked about 7 types of snanam: Varuna snanam, Kayaka snanam, Yogic snanam, Divya snanam, Brahma snanam, Vayavya snanam, and Agniya snanam. This snanam is called Vayavya snanam, where the Godhuli dust comes and touches us and completely covers us with all the dust. The Godhuli dust is also good for Drishti Nivarti. In fact, Bhagavata Puranatla, Mata Yashoda will smear the Godhuli on Krishna's forehead to ward off evil eyes. So that's the power of Godhuli. Of course, Godhuli Kalam is a very auspicious time. It's like Abhijit Muhurtam, and it has the ability to overpower all the Kala Dosham. So any day you don't have any auspicious time, you can bank on this Godhuli Lagnam and perform your good events. Then Mahapariva has also emphasized on the planting of poles across pathways used by the cows. So it will help the cow to itch their body, because normally what they do is they have a lot of itching, and they keep hitting their tail to itch their body. And these poles, Mahapariva referred to them as Atindu Kundri, and these Atindu Kundri will be very useful when they are planted in the places where the cow normally uses for grazing. So they will go around and itch themselves. So it's very helpful for the cows. In the Mari we can do. And then doing pradakshana for the cow will be like the 33 Kodi Devargaliyum, we are doing the pradakshanam. The entire world, we circumambulate the entire world, which is very, very, very beneficial to us. And any japam, dhanam done near the pasu or near the Gomata or in the Goshtam, in the cow shed, has a multiplying effect. So cow does everything without any benefit in return. and it is able to actually cow enhances the mantra shakti through their produce in the yagna. Typically, if you see, their variety is put, the agnya, the ajyam is added, and the fuel, ஹோமத்தை அக்னியை நம்ம உண்டாக்குறோம். அந்த அக்னியில் நம்ம மந்திரத்தை ஆட் பண்ணி நம்ம பூர்ண பலன் எடுத்துக்கிறோம். ஸோ கோமாதா வந்து ஒரு பிரதிபலனும் இல்லாமல் ஷீ இஸ் ஹெல்பிங் அஸ் டு கெட் ஆல் த பூர்ண பலன். அண்ட் த கோஷ்டம் இஸ் சச் அ பவித்திரமான பிளேஸ். அண்ட் மகாபெரிவா மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த டைம்ஸ் எல்லாரையும் பார்த்த இடம் வந்து கோஷ்டமாக இருக்கும். எவ்ரிபடி வுட் ஹவ் ஹேட் அ தர்ஷன் ஆஃப் மகாபெரிவா இன் த கோஷ்டம். ஸோ இட்ஸ் இஸ் ஃபேவரட் பிளேஸ். அண்ட் ஐ பிலீவ் தட் வேரெவர் தெர் இஸ் அ கோஷ்டம், பெரிவா இஸ் ஸ்டில் லிவிங் தேர். ஸோ அதனால் வந்து அது பெரிவாளுடைய நித்திய நிவாச இடமா ஐ ஃபீல். ஸோ தட்ஸ் ஹவ் இட் இஸ். நெக்ஸ்ட் இஸ் டு கான்ட்ரிபியூட். Reach out to Goshalas, Alayams, contribute financially consistently, either as individuals, friends, or groups. Offer monetary support to small-time farmers to maintain these non-milching cows in your villages. Even in cities, encourage them and share their burden. Offer them support. Sponsor to the maintenance of old and non-milching cows with the nearby caretakers. It's a great opportunity for you to sit in a different country and do Go Seva. Our Desi cow Palaks have started producing pure ark, panchakavya, agarbattis, doop sticks, diyas, vibhuti, flower pots, Vinayaka Chaturthi idols, body soaps, face wash, floor cleaners, fertilizers, manure, disinfectants, many things. You name it, they are just developing it. We need to buy these products and encourage the cause. We all can become ambassadors of our culture, sampradaya of Go worship, Go Aradhana, and it is our duty to create the demand for Desi cow products, thus contributing to the cause of Go Rakshanam. So we contribute. Then the third one is to educate our community and children on the importance of cow worship, Aradhana, uniqueness of native Indian cows, how they are environmentally friendly, spiritually very enriching, and they create positivity around us. It's important that we educate all the children and the community on the antiquity of Go Seva, Go Aradhana, and they must develop a love for Desi cows. Because normally I see people when they look at cows, they just frown and say, oh, it will stink, and they hold their nose. It's not that they hold their breath, but I don't think it's really warranted, because as I told you, native cows' urine and dung do not smell bad. They have a distinct smell. We need to understand the difference. The last one is to ensure. What do you ensure? 21 generations to come. When you do Go Seva, the next 21 generations are taken care of. Right? So if we can actually, what you can do is, if you have a house with a land, you can actually seek out for non-milching cows, adopt them and bring them to your house. Their maintenance is not very difficult at all. But on the other hand, the moment they enter the house transforms into a temple. Gomata udiya mangra shabdam itself is Mangalam. It refers to Mahalakshmi. She'll bring a lot of prosperity to you and your family, and will ward off all the negativity in the family. All your problems will get dissolved, and you attain the purpose of this birth. She will ensure that you attain the purpose of this birth by giving you chitta shuddhi, by removing all your sins, by giving you sat gati, sat sangam, everything sat chittam. And that's phenomenal benefits. All you need to do is to bring, Vriddha Pasu or a Dhenu to your home and take care of them. And it's such a simple thing to take care of them. They are not at all demanding. They are very understanding. It's like having our old mother at home, right? And taking care of them. It's such a beautiful feeling and such a great opportunity. And if you don't have a house with land, no worries. You can also set up a small Goshala in your native place where the lands would be available, either as a group or a family or as a group of friends. You could do that. That will in fact revive the culture of cow worship in our villages, because nowadays even villages do not have too many cows unless they are into agriculture or they are into cattle breeding, right? So we can do that. And while they might have cows, they might have Desi Indian cows, but the concept of worshipping cows can be set up as a small Go Alayam with 2-3 cows, Vriddha Pasu or cows rescued from slaughterhouses can be kept there, and people can be encouraged to do Go Puja regularly, do chanting there. Children can be brought in there to educate on Go Seva, Go Aradhana, and that itself will bring the cultural change. So I think all we need to do is to integrate, contribute, educate, and ensure. If we do these 4 things, and of course buy products and ensure we always stay as ambassadors, spread the message, and I think I'm sure that we'll be able to do something towards Go Rakshanam. Gohatya, as I told you, is equal to Matrihatya. A cow protected and prevented from slaughtering will protect you for several generations to come. Even silent witnessing is a sin, I feel. This is a very important Dharma Kaikarya. We must all act firmly, smartly, bring the cultural change. Ideally, we should not even encourage outlets which sell beef. Although they might be selling vegetarian food alongside, I think we should slowly avoid them so that expresses our dissent and discourage them from doing this, beef sale. And from start till the end, if you look at it, Gomata has been helping us to live, prosper, and achieve the purpose of birth. They are definitely much more than what a mother could do, right? So cow is indeed Vishwasya Mataraha. And Deivathan Kuralla, Volume 7, நம்ம நடமாடும் தெய்வமாக இருக்கிற மகாபெரிவா இந்த நடமாடும் கோயிலாக இருக்கிற கோமாதாவுடைய ரக்ஷணம் பற்றி நிறையா சொல்லியிருக்கா. அவசியமாக எல்லாரும் படிக்கணும்னு ரிக்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணிக்கிறேன். ஸோ ப்ளீஸ் டூ ரெஃபர் டு வால்யூம் 7 ஆஃப் தெய்வத்தின் குரல், வாய்ஸ் ஆஃப் காட், given by Mahaperiyava, where this Go Rakshanam, Go Aradhana has been elaborately, talked about, and it's such a great delight to listen to that tone, the words of Mahaperiyava. And maybe because of that, maybe because it's Guru's words, we are able to understand that very well, and Guru Kataksham automatically follows for us to adhere and contribute towards the cause. I hope each of you got something out of this presentation. This is my humble submission to my revered Guru Sri Kanchi Mahaperiyava. I pray to him that all of us must be given an opportunity to do Go Seva in this Janma and in whatever way convenient to us. Swasti Prajabhyam Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahisha Gobrahmanebhyo Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Mahaperiyava Charana.